My bahasa Indonesia is not so good, so I'm going to speak in English. My wife Yvonne and I, and also Ron Rankuret and Catherine Rankuret, are so-called Dutch Indonesian, peranakan Belanda, Indo Belanda, Belanda Indo. We call ourselves Indo. So I was asked to talk about my experience during the Indonesian Revolution, the War of Independence. But it is my personal story, but it's actually also the story of the Indo people. What are Indo people? Well, I have to go back to the colonial period. When during the colonial period, Indonesia was called the Dutch East Indies. So if I talk about that period, I say Indies. In the Indies, there was a Dutch law pertaining to citizenship, and it is like this. If a Dutchman, so-called pure blood from Holland, when he marries an Indonesian woman, the Indonesian woman becomes a Dutch citizen, that according to the Dutch law. The children of this couple are also Dutch citizens. So the son has 50% blood Indonesian and 50% Dutch. If the grandson marries an Indonesian woman, the children also become Indonesian citizen and the wife. So you can see that if the grandchild of this person marry Indonesian woman, the percentage of blood is maybe 95% Indonesian and 5% Dutch. But they are still Dutch citizens. So that is the Indo people. They have all graduation from 50% Dutch to 5% black. That is the Indo people. But the Indo people, they talk about Indo Belanda, but actually we have different ethnic background. For example, Ron Rankuret is a French name. So actually he has a French background. So I myself, Geeroms, my grandmother from father's side is French-Belgian, grandmother from mother side is Chinese, so I have a really mixed up kids, what you call it, gado. But so even in this mixtures, the so-called Indo were Dutch citizens. So that's where I play. Now I come to the Japanese occupation. Because we were Dutch citizens, the Indos were imprisoned by the Japanese. Like Yvonne and Rankuret were in the same Japanese concentration camp in Sumatra. But the Japanese say, if you have 50% or more Indonesian blood, then you are allowed to stay outside. At that time, during occupation, there were about 300 Indo people. 100,000 were put in prison in concentration camp because they were more Dutch than Indonesian. Of Java South, there was about 150,000 Indo that were outside the camp. So now we go to after the revolution. So you know, 150,000 were Indos were outside the camp in Indonesia. Of Java. Outside, maybe there were 50,000, something like that. 15 August, Japanese surrendered to the Allies. And one of the conditions that they had to follow is that they had to keep order in Indonesia, and they have to protect the Dutch people in Indonesia. That was the one organization. At that time, there were no Dutch army. So the British under Mountbatten were given the task, the mandate, the tugas to evacuate the people who were in the concentration camp. And they were called APW, Allied Prisoners of War and Internees. So there were different Japanese concentration camp in Sumatra and Java and Maluku and Kalimantan. So British troops started coming in to Java and Sumatra in September 1945. And they established beachhead. So they were concentrated in Semarang, Surabaya, Bandung, Medan, Padang, and Palembang. And they had a group called RAPWI, that is Recuperation or Rehabilitation Allied Prisoner of War Entities. So in Magelang there were also this RAPWI camp under the British. So people from surrounding area were brought to Magelang because Magelang has a complex, used to be canal, military barracks. And during the Japanese, it was occupied by the Japanese. So the tugas of the British troop is to disarm and evacuate the Japanese, but also to evacuate the internees. So one of the camps for rehabilitation was Magelang. I was born in Magelang, and I live in Magelang. So the tugas is to disarm the Japanese and rehabilitate the internees. But in that period, after the 17th August 1945, Indonesia didn't have a standing army. So there was this interim army called BKR, Badan Keamanan Rakyat. But in October, official army was called, October 45, and it was called Tentara Keamanan Rakyat, TKR. And